Hey everybody, this is Cliff Hambleton here with Hambleton Transportation. Today we are out in the boonies in Hyden, Kentucky. So they sent me out here to pick up a John Deere 245. So the broker told me that it was a job site, plenty of room, and plenty of room to turn around. And this is what I'm working with here. So this is road work out here. They have a lane closed, and there is a big old cliff on this side. So my excavator is sitting over there. So I came through and I just kind of pulled off to the side here. I'm gonna go make sure that that excavator is the right one. I'm just gonna drop right here and I will track that thing up and put it on the trailer right here. There is no way I'm getting turned around, so we're just gonna have to go out that way. I'll have to I looked at the map a little before, and Jen was looking at it, said it's pretty complicated going out that way, but I don't really have a choice. I can't back out this road, so I'm gonna have to go that way, and it'll just have to be what it'll be. So let's go make sure that this is our excavator and get this thing loaded up. And be careful, because that's a long drop down there. Oh. You know, some of the stuff I get myself into is pretty ridiculous. We actually dropped in Louisville, Kentucky. And oh, that's nice. So they have a little piece in there. I guess I can back up and get out around that. 245G. They said it had an equipment number on it. This is the only one though, so this almost has to be it. Ready to rent. I don't see an equipment number anywhere on here. Keys in it, so that's good. Let's see. I wish I could find the equipment number on this thing. But it's the only 245 back here. This has to be it. Fall off the edge. Oh gosh. There's the VIN. But that doesn't tell me. I mean, this has to be it. So, alright. Well, I think before I go over, drive this over, I think I want to get broken down and ready over there, and then I can just drive it over and pull it right on. Oh, there's the equipment number, 3834004. Yep, this is the one. All right. So let's go get broken down, and then I'll come back and fire that thing up and drive it over here. I had to move some of their cones so I could get in, so I'll have to put them back when I'm done. Appears to be a very seldom used road, so we should be all right to road here. Not much traffic to load here. Not much traffic. So put the cones back out. Okay. All right, I think we are ready to load this thing now. So I'll give you guys another shot of the job site here. I guess they're putting up supports. Maybe it's a retaining wall. I don't know how close I want to get. Yeah, it looks like they're pouring concrete for a retaining wall. Oof. So, just gotta be careful as we do this. Okay. Metal to stick you guys to. Well, this thing doesn't sound great. You know what? Alright, I'm gonna have to put you right there. So we got it loaded up. That is good. All right, now let's back the truck up here, and then we'll work on getting it chained down. I'm gonna wait and see where the weight is on this. It looks a little funky on the back, like it should be back a little more. So I want to see where my tandems are. It's not real heavy, but we did already pull our permit, so I just want to make sure that we're kosher on that, and that we have our weights right. All right, so I think we're good on weights. I think we permitted for a little more than we needed. I'm at 68 psi on the tandem, which I believe is about 40,000 pounds, and I think we permitted for 41 or 42, and then we're right about 66 or 67 on the Tridem, which we permitted for 50, and I believe that's well under that. So I have no cell phone service here because I'm way back in the woods. There's no way to check it, but I'm pretty sure that that is where I need to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and chain this thing down. All right, there's the front, or the back, one end anyway. got this thing chained down. Now we got to do flags and banners. I'll take some pictures of it. Not that I can send them, so I don't have any signal. We'll take some pictures, and then yeah, I'll have to pull up a bit and then put my cones back out, or put their cones back out that I moved back out to the middle of the road. And then I got to print out BOLs and then figure out where we're going. I'll have to look at the at my GPS to see if I can get out of here this way, or if there's a place to turn around and come back the other way. I don't know. They made it seem like there was a place to turn around here, so I thought I'd be coming in, backing into a job site, loading up, and then going back out the same way I came in. And that's what our permit is for, but if we can't turn around, we can't turn around. So we're just gonna have to make do. All right guys, so we're loaded up, got my BOLs printed. The route out of here, so I'm gonna have to go out this way, but I think I'm gonna go up to the next intersection, which is not far up the road, make that left and then back up and come back in this road, because if you make that left, then there's little bridges that you have to go across, and I'm heavy and my permit only gave me coming back out this road, so I don't want to go over any bridges and damage anything, or you know, get stuck in a corner or something like that. So I know this way, I know going back this way, so that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna go up there, turn around in the intersection, and then come back out this road. So let's go do it. about 7 o'clock. Sun is just coming up, so we're about to get started here. I made it up here to Prestonsburg, Kentucky last night to a Quality Inn here. As you guys saw, that coming back out Bull Creek Road or whatever, that was quite fun. Had to move that lift out of the way so I could get past, but we got it done. Got back out to a main road and headed up here. So now we're taking 23 all the way up to 64, and then we're taking that across the Ohio River, and then getting off there and going north on, I believe it's 52, into Ohio. And then Ohio gave us a bear of a route this morning, so I'll show you guys on my GPS. So that's 23 coming up here to 64, and then I go across the river, and then west on 52, and then I have to come up here and get off on this little road and follow it up, and then I'm following it all the way up to Jackson till I can hook up with 35, and then I take 35 on up to 23 up near Chillicothe, and then I have another little detour once I get up towards Columbus, go across and over to 71. This is 71 here, and then we're right in Columbus. But yeah, it's a good amount of driving on little back roads this morning, so it should be a challenge. We have 223 miles to go, and if you can tell by my voice, I've come down with a cold, so we're going to get up to Columbus, get this delivered, and then I am hightailing it back home for a long weekend and see if I can recover. So that's the plan for this morning. Let's go get some of these miles done and get up towards Columbus. Hey guys, so we just started our first detour. I'm here on I think it's 139 coming up through from the river in Ohio, so I figured I'd get out and start the camera and you guys can see what we're dealing with here. Alright guys, just arrived here in Columbus at Sunbelt Rentals. That's where this excavator is going. So, now we just gotta get this thing unchained and unloaded, and we'll be ready to head home. folks, that is a wrap on that one. We got that John Deere excavator delivered. So from here, it is Thursday, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I am just taking off and headed home, deadheading home. It's a lot of deadhead. I think it's about 300 miles, maybe a little more. Yeah, we're actually at 350 miles. Sorry. But as you can tell, I'm sick. Started getting sick Monday evening. So, we made pretty good money this week running these 4 loads. So now I am just going home. I have a long weekend. I'm actually working a little bit tomorrow. I'm going over to the Keene yard to pick up a load, which unfortunately I can't film. But Tuesday we will be running that up to Syracuse, New York. So we got a really good rate on that. So we already have our first load for next week to get the week kicked off. So I am going to take some time to rest and recuperate here. So as always, I really do appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate all the support and the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like my content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I try to do 3 videos a week. If I can, I'll start getting 4 a week. This week I really didn't have time. I try to edit while I'm on the road, but this week I didn't have time, so it's only going to be, well, I'll probably get a video up on Friday this week, so it'll still be 3. But if you like heavy equipment, trucking, seeing how a trucker lives on the road, I know I do it a little bit different than everybody else, but hey, it's that's one of the great things about trucking is the freedom. You have the freedom to go where you want, pull the loads you want, and do it the way you want to. So, and if you can make it work, make it work. So, from Columbus, Ohio, Sunbelt Rentals, my name is Cliff. I'm with Hamilton Transportation, and I will see you out there on the road.